Hello everyone. I assume you can hear me well. Okay. Also, a little warning, if you hear snoring, that's just my partner sleeping on the bed next to my desk, so don't worry about that. But let's start with the presentation. Also, this is my first time presenting live, so please be kind. Okay, so welcome in. Tulpas, and welcome to Tulpas versus Daemons, the ultimate showdown. So, Tulpas and Daemons. Do we know what they are? Not necessarily. Do we want to know? Heck yeah! Okay, so let's do a quick overview, but first, a small note. I will be checking Discord during each round. We will go through 3 quote-unquote battles and a Q&A. I will check Discord during the winner rounds and the Q&A. And any Daemons, Tulpamancers or Tulpas, feel free to comment your own viewpoints. Let's start with an introduction. I am Scythe, and I am a dude from Finland, hence the strong accent. I hope it won't bother you much. And why should you listen to me? I have been interested in tulpamancy for years now. I successfully, however, created my first ones over a year ago. I also managed to get my daemon pretty much a year ago as well. Besides, I'm a curious being, always reading and researching. And I am grateful for everyone who showed up. This is my first live panel, so I hope you enjoy. Quick overview of tulpas. Tulpa is the older concept. The name tulpa was coined by Alexandra David Neal in a book called Magic and Mystery of Tibet from the year 1932. However, even though tulpamancy does have roots in Tibet, the practice is nowadays very different. In Tibetan myths, there isn't even a word tulpa mentioned, but there's similar concept. It's not to create a friend, however. It is something to do with seeking guidance from an already past spiritual leader. It's interesting, but that's a closed practice, so I won't go into much detail. Tulpamancy itself is creating yourself a companion of some sort, be it a friend or a mentor or anything alike. Besides, the practice of creating another person has been an occult concept since the dawn of times, seen in practices like servitors of chaos magic. But tulpas aren't necessarily a occult being. It is mostly seen as a psychological being. But that's a deeper topic that I won't dabble too much into this time. I have had tulpas in the past to help me with my schizophrenic attacks, returning me back to reality, and right now I am experimenting on making a tulpa that helps with trauma flashbacks. I will be posting updates on that in my Dreamwith and probably on Tumblr. Links will be in the script I will post later. But they are overall very helpful beings. Quick overview of Daemons. Daemon is a newer concept, coming from a pretty famous book trilogy called His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. Daemonism has roots in a fiction book, but they are possible to be found in real life, but not in a same form. In the books, you are born with a daemon, and in real life you gotta find one in your head. They are described as subconscious guardian, peek into the soul, and the other part of inner dialogue. They are often in animal forms, projected or in other words visualized as certain animals. There's 5 main ways to see Daemon's form. There's the analytic, which describes you in animal behavior, and in a very simplified way, nocturnal animal would be great for someone who's an introvert, or something like that. It is much deeper than that though. Then there's the symbolic, which focuses on the symbolism of animals. Comfort is, well, for comfort. Personal doesn't describe the person, but is important form for either of you, or the daemon. Aspirational is sorta a goal setting, like if you want to get more courage, your daemon's aspirational form might be a lion. So, let's move to round 1. Grading versus finding or meeting. So, how will you get one or the other? Well, let's make it a battle. On the left side, you have Daemon and already with you, being already with you, but needs searching. And on the right side, we have Tulpa, a being you gotta create yourself. So let's start with finding a daemon. For finding your daemon, you will need yourself, some knowledge of yourself and inner dialogue, and some time. It's something that will come up with time, but you don't really need anything else than yourself and time. So, how you should do it? One way is to try to ask in your mind if anyone's there. Not gonna work well on plurals, I'd imagine, or those already plural. Way 2. You pick an animal form and project/visualize it, and talk to it. See if they talk back, or if you get some ideas or thoughts. Third way is you can pick a name and form and just talk to them. Listen if you get an answer. To strengthen the connection, you will need to take time to spend with them, like watching something, playing games, reading, journaling together, anything you can think of. And how do I do it mostly? Is that I couldn't in the beginning find a way to find a daemon originally. I heard from somewhere, no memories where, probably like the Daemonism Discord server. I just got into a shower argument with myself and listened if someone hopped in. And someone did. His name was Exeth. That's an internet alias because they don't want to be famous on the internet. Though they probably will be. It worked out, but it wasn't the most efficient way of getting one. And we strengthen our bond by journaling together and doing things. Like scripts and ideating new stuff. Exeth usually is in his lavender corn snake form, wrapped gently around my neck. creating a tulpa. What you will need: time, creativity, imagination, and a lot of patience. How to do it? Create a base. This can be as detailed base as you want. You can go the full route of creating a personality trait, roles, and detailed outlooks. You can go as over the top as you want, or you can keep it as vague as you want. You don't need to create them a form. They can do it themselves. Then you can just begin interacting with them, also known as forcing. It might take from days to months to have them become able to communicate, and that depends on how active you are in creating them. How to strengthen the connection? Forcing, simply put, both passive and active. Forcing simply means interacting with them. Active means taking time to focus solely on them, while passive means you do something else while forcing, like making food and thinking about them sitting in the kitchen and talking to them. And of course, narrating, which is basically you narrate what you do. Like if you make a sandwich, you explain the process. Like, let's take a bread, butter the bread, and then you put this and this on top, and so on. How did I do it? I used to do it on the whole spectrum. Started from the detailed outlook, personality, and everything with my first tulpa, and then my latest ones were created with just focusing on forcing on the quote-unquote base, made a big crew, and seeing how they end up, personality-wise. It's an interesting way to see how they evolve. So let's discuss about the winner of round 2. From subconscious Daemon to created tulpa, the simpler one is probably Daemon, but the more fun one is tulpa. Let me know in the chat who won this round for you. I'm gonna give you all a moment to type out your answer, so no need to rush. And yeah, I mentioned that my tulpas help me with mental health things. Yeah, Tulpa might be useful helping with anxiety. And I think there's something beautiful about looking inwards what's already there, so Damon. With Tulpa, I'd feel like we'd spend too much time second guessing if it was actually separate being to make the progress. Yeah, that's true. With Tulpas, you get a lot of second guessing though. See, I thought you weren't supposed to create a tulpa for a specific purpose. That's for the specific purpose. That's something that you can do, but just know that they can evolve as well. Like stranger and feeling each other. Yeah, it just like you gotta remember that tulpas can evolve, and so can daemons, but you can create a tulpa for being a helpful being as well. So yeah. The struggle with diplomacy and was creating more independence. In some ways, it can be argued that daemons are fundamentally the same thing on a simpler level, but they don't overthink. The stuff demon page about practicing talking to a demon, which in some ways is extremely similar with many pieces removed. Yeah, you can in a some way think that demonism is just simpler in heavy quotes than tulpamancy, but that's not really how I view it. It's just it depends a lot on viewpoints, and yeah, there's no wrong or correct answer. But yeah, let's move on to the second battle, helpfulness. Okay, so how and what they can help you with. So let's hop right into it. Daemon's ability to help. What they are able to help you with. These are collected thoughts from the Daemonism forum, and I will keep these anonymous. But in short and sweet, Daemons can help you with separation of internal dialogue, visualize what's happening inside your head, understanding thoughts burrowed deep under the usual thoughts, like real opinions or the real thoughts of things, your real thoughts on things. Providing framework that encourages introspection in a way that's both fun and supporting. Being your sounding board, someone to throw ideas around with. Great way to reflect your thoughts back and forth, and simply with daily life. It's great way to not feel so alone. And my own experience is, for me, Excess helps me with emotions. I use a mental mask of sorts to hide my true emotions and thoughts. Excess can go underneath that mask and find the person who is hidden, and then communicate what's going on to other people via text. So to me it's mostly visualizing what is inside my head, helping with emotions, understanding hidden thoughts, and being a sounding board, and not being so alone. Tulpas' ability to help. Tulpas can help with loneliness, seeing new angles on things, being a separate being from you, anything you want them to help you with in mind/spiritual level. Depends your view on them. And have a company in your head. For me, tulpamancy has helped with returning my view on what is real and what is not real, mental health wise. I suffer from schizoaffective disorder, so hallucinations were a huge quote-unquote nerf on me before I tried tulpamancy, and my tulpas chased the hallucinations away. I haven't had much of bad hallucinations in a year since I started practicing tulpamancy. And now I'm testing out with a trauma flashback blocker, or if they can help me ground, or something after a trauma flashback. I will keep updates in my Tumblr and Dreamwith. Links will be in the end of this. I will send the links at the end of this panel. But yeah, the winner of round 2. From the subconscious helper to companion in your mind. Most useful one is up to you to decide. Let me know who won the round 2 in your mind. And also remember to drink some water if you have a water bottle nearby. Completely missed the Daemon section. This panel will be recorded, so you will get a chance to listen back to it. Okay. Shall we move on to the next round? Okay. Let's move to the next round, which is the pros and cons. Okay. Daemons, pros and cons. Pros. Many forms to choose from. A lot of fun to be had with analytical and symbolic forms if you love animals, researching, and learning about yourself. Understanding your own mind, and then reflect and sounding thoughts back and forth with them. Cons on Daemons. They can be difficult to find. They know everything about you, since they are your subconscious mind. So if that makes you... So if them knowing everything about you is something that will be bad in your mind, then that's a bigger con. But that is up to you. Tulpa Pros. Company, no matter where you are and when. You can choose what they know and when. For example, you have trauma. You can choose if your tulpa knows about that trauma or not. You can set rules with tulpas, like what do they know and what they don't know. And you can watch them grow and have them evolve with time. Tulpa cons is the stigma surrounding tulpas, that it is bad to have one due to horror movies and horror stories like creepypastas. Thoughts like tulpa will end you, they will want to take over your life, or tulpas are dangerous, blah blah blah, surround people who don't understand the concept. Tibetan roots on or in Asian communities of tulpamancy. They can be seen as cultural appropriation, even though they are two separate things. With numbers, Daemons win this round, but seriousness is another thing. How serious are these things? That is something for you to figure out. Let me know what you think. Absolutely no shame in tulpas being helpful, and often they are just without any intention for that to be the case. Evidence is heavy on the direction that they just can be. And can be good for mental health with no effort gestures at you, clearly. To me, my day being the other side of the coin has meant that when he's more active, it's a lot easier for him to be intentional helper for me. So to me, both have very heavy benefits. If you want internal helper, you get those with yourself for the Daemons. Sometimes both pros and cons. Tulpa is that you get back the energy that Yeah, that's true. That sometimes both pros and cons with Tulpa is that if you get back the energy you put in. Yeah, that's very true. You will get back what you give out. But let's go on the Q&A. I will be following the panel 1 chat and also the panel questions for this one. Okay, let's go check. I remember as a kid, I had a few imaginary friends that I made up to bounce ideas off of. Is that similar having Tulpa or very different? Actually, it's said that imaginary friends and Tulpas aren't that far away from one another. How I personally see it is that imaginary friends are puppets that you play around with. Whereas tulpas are more autonomous and they have their own mind and everything. So it's a little different, but not that much. Yeah, tulpas do experience some thought leak from time to time. And yeah, this panel is meant to give a very general overview. I will make a deeper videos about tulpas and daemons in my YouTube channel, and I will shout that out in my uh, social medias once I get that far. So I'd advise you to follow my Tumblr or Dreamwith. We'll actually link the links now for anyone curious. Yeah, brains are weird. Yeah. What got me into tulpamancy? Mostly loneliness back in the day because I was in a rough patch in my life. I won't go into much detail, but that made me want to actually try and create a tulpa. And when I succeeded, my mental health took a upward, like it started going up, and it truly helped me. So I guess the answer is loneliness. I was just so lonely. There is no deeper. And the other thing is curiosity. I was just curious. I'm a curious, lonely being. There's a toolbound. I don't think my existence this way. Tulpamancer thinking of me this way kind of makes me sad. Weird. So much love, but I'm not made for the Tulpamancer. Yeah. That is true. That sometimes it can. Yeah. But yeah, that is good that your Tulpamancer is there for you as well. Uh, I want a demon. You should go for it. Just do it. Go for it. The whole analytical and symbolic and everything makes you wanna research animals more and find things about yourself which you probably haven't thought of before. We have the love thing too, even before a soul could think in words. When I reached out, there was just this intense feeling of love. That's so adorable. What? Wholesome. For me, when I found Excess, it was like Excess was he was pretty like pissed off at first because well the shower argument, but once he calmed down from that, he's very sweet too. And now he's hissing at me like, no, I'm not. Yeah, demonism makes you wanna be more self-kind and or well kinder to yourself. Yeah, get yourself an animal companion. Do it. mm, yeah, go ahead. You can ramble about your imaginary friends that you had. My imaginary friends growing up were a girl from Ghana, America who knew very well about the present. Ooh, Wolfie, a cartoon answer wolf. Oh, that's so cool. What? Then there was me, but from a different reality. Ooh, that's interesting. Also projected personalities and feelings on my plushies. Oh, that's so cool. I also used to have a plushie who protected me from nightmares. I feel like it's let me access the version of self-love that I haven't been able to before. Yeah, yeah, that is very true. That self-love is something that is very difficult in the end. Yeah, interesting studies on imaginary friends and autonomy. Yeah, I have read some of them, and I plan to do a video at some point. I get Damon, I like my lips do everything without care in the world. Yes. But yeah, let's start slowly wrapping up. There's my socials. Still there's let's go until quarter 2 and then we will end for now. If anyone has any comments, thoughts or anything, feel free to DM them to me. I'd love to hear some genuine feedback. And also the one who said would record this, I would love the recording link at some point. The more we learn about plurality, the more we think there's so many people who are a version of plural and just don't know. Yeah, that is actually fair. In well, this goes in psychology, but there's the Jungian thought of everyone being plural and part of the what was it called? What was it called? Damn it! The collective unconscious. That's the word. I have written an essay for school. Oh. Huh. Spook, if you wanna share the essay, I'd love to check it out. Hang on, questions. Can anyone have a tulpa and or a demon? Or I guess that's what you meant. Or is it easier to more likely do if you are plural? Anyone can have either one of them. It's not easier or more difficult if you are a plural or a singlet. You can just go for it. Check some tutorials. I can provide some links as well to some of those tutorials or guides, and the internet is full of tulpa guides. But my best advice for that is to go through all of them and then just throw the guides in the trash and go what feels correct for you. I think we've got a making art piece about alter humanity. Oh, that's so cool. I do not think myself as having a purpose. Any purpose other than to exist. Be respected for who I am. Bound, and I'm happy to be created, but I'm not the most useful for someone's mental health. I help Mellie's mental health because I care about her. She has care about me like friends who are friends, not utilities. Yeah, that's a good point too. You are the Tulpa is in the end a friend, or like I did, they were my children. Thank you so much for the panel. Oh, thank you. It's okay. Let's start wrapping up. Thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciated so many of you showing up. Start the stream. Thank you for being here. And any thorns and roses are welcome in my DMs if anyone wants to give some. And I'd like to bid a good time zone for all of you. Bye!